Oh,
Hello,
hello.
good evening.
Good evening. Can you see and hear me clearly?
Yes, I can see and hear you clearly. Okay.
Okay, very good. So let's check right away. So we are now at stage 3, paragraph page 202. Okay, last headword was
Okay.
how often, and that will be full stage revision. Okay,
Okay.
so let's pick up from where we ended. Okay, here we go. Oh, one moment, let me check.
Hmm.
Okay, here we go. First question. How often do we live? How often do we live? We only live
We
once.
only live once.
How often do you text your friends? How often do you text your friends? I text my friends
I text my friend once a day.
once a day. Very good. Is it good for the health to eat fresh fruits and vegetables? Is it good for the health to eat fresh fruits and vegetables? Yes, it's good
Yes,
for the
it's
health
good for the
to
health
eat fresh
to eat
fruit and vegetable.
fresh fruit and vegetables.
Which is healthier to have with our lunch, chips or salads? Which is healthier to have with our lunch, chips or salads? Salad is healthier
Salad is
to have with
healthier
our
to have
lunch
with our
than
lunch
chips.
than chips.
Is it healthy to go to bed late every day? Is it healthy to go to bed late every day? No, it
No,
isn't
it
healthy
isn't
to go to
healthy
bed
to go
late
to bed
every
late
day.
every day.
It's unhealthy
It's
to go to
unhealthy
bed
to
late
go bed to, it's unhealthy to go to bed too late
every day.
every day.
Very good. One more. No, it
Okay.
isn't
No,
healthy to
it
go
isn't
to bed
healthy
late
to go to
every
bed
day.
late every
It's
day.
unhealthy
It's
to go to
unhealthy
bed
to
late
go to bed
every
late
day.
every day.
Very good. 2 plus 2 equals 7. 2 plus 2 equals 7. Do you agree? No, I don't
No,
agree
I don't
that 2
agree
plus 2
that 2
equals
plus
7.
2 equals
I
7.
disagree.
I disagree.
Do you agree that Paris is an ugly place? Do you agree that Paris is an ugly place? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
agree that
agree
Paris
that
is
Paris
an ugly
is
place.
an ugly
I
place.
disagree.
I disagree.
Do you always agree with everything people say? Do you always agree with everything people say? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
always agree
always
with
agree
everything
with
people say.
everything people say.
Sometimes I agree,
Sometimes I
and
agree, and
sometimes I
sometimes I
disagree.
disagree.
Which is it right to say? I agree or I'm agree. Which is it right to say? I agree or I'm agree. It's right to say
It's right to
I
say I
agree.
agree.
Like 14 plus 80 equals 94. 14 plus 80 equals 94. What am I doing? You're adding
You are
14 and
adding
80.
14 and 80.
Is it complicated to add the numbers 15 and 30 together? Is it complicated to add the numbers 15 and 30 together? No, it
No,
isn't
it isn't
complicated to
complicated
add the
to
numbers
add the
15
numbers
and 30
15 and
together.
30 together.
It's simple.
It's simple.
Very good. What do we sometimes add to our tea and coffee? What do we sometimes add to our tea and coffee? We sometimes
We
add
sometimes
milk
add
and
milk
sugar
and
to
sugar
our tea and
to our
coffee.
tea coffee.
Okay, what do we add to a regular verb to form its past tense? What do we add to a regular verb to form its past tense? We add the
We
letters
add the
ed
letters
to a
ed
regular verb
to our regular
to
verb
form its past
to form
tense.
its past tense.
Greg, can you jump over this table with both your feet together? Can you jump over this table with both your feet together? No, I can't
No,
jump
I can't
over
jump
that table
over the
with
table
both my feet
with both
together.
my feet together.
Very good. One more. No, I can't
No,
jump
I
over
can't
that
jump
table
over the table
with both my feet
with
together.
both my feet together.
Can you jump up and touch the ceiling? Can you jump up and touch the ceiling? No, I
No,
can't
I
jump
can't
up
jump
and
up
touch
and
the
touch
ceiling.
the ceiling
Why not? Why not? Because the
because the
ceiling's too
ceiling is
high.
too high.
Right? Can you jump as high as a house? Can you jump as high as a house? No, I
No,
can't
I
jump
can't jump
as
as
high.
high as a house.
Very good. What's okay? Next. What's this? What's this? It's the corner of a
It's a
book.
corner of a book.
Are you sitting in the corner of your room? Are you sitting in the corner of your room? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'm
I
sitting
am
in a
sitting
corner of
in a
my room.
corner of my room.
Can you sit at the corner of a round table? Can you sit at the corner of a round table? No, I
No,
can't sit
I can't
at the
sit
corner of
at
a
the
round
corner of
table.
a round table
Why not? Why not? Because a round
because
table
round
has
table
no
has
corners.
no corners.
Very good. Where am I standing? Where am I standing? You're standing
We
at
are
the
standing
corner of
at the
the
corner
table.
of the table.
Where am I standing? Where am I standing? You're
You are
standing in the
standing in
corner
the
of the
corner
room.
of the room.
Very good. Can we go by ship from Paris to Milan? Can we go by ship from Paris to Milan? No, we can't
No,
go
we
by
can't
ship
go by
from
ship
Paris to
from
Milan.
Paris to Milan
Why not? Why not? Because both
because
cities
both
are
cities
inland.
are inland.
Is a boat larger than a ship? Is a boat larger than a ship? No, a
No,
boat
a
isn't
boat
larger
isn't larger
than a
than
ship.
a ship.
It's smaller
It's
than a
smaller
ship.
than a ship.
Very good. Are we almost at the end of the lesson? Are we almost at the end of the lesson? Yes or no?
No,
We aren't
we
almost
aren't
at the
almost
end of the
at
lesson.
the end of the lesson.
Does almost everybody in your country have a mobile phone? Does almost everybody in your country have a mobile phone? Yes,
Yes,
almost
almost
everybody in my
everybody in
country
my
have a
country
mobile
has
phone.
have a mobile phone.
Very good. Where do we generally see people sitting at desk? Where do we generally see people sitting at desk? We generally
We
see
generally
people
see people
sitting at desk
sitting
in
at desk
offices
in
and
offices
classrooms.
and
In
classrooms.
some jobs, can people work from home instead of going to an office? In some jobs, can people work from home instead of going to an office? Yes, in some
Yes, in some
jobs,
jobs,
people can work from
people
home
can work from
instead
home
of going
instead
to an
of
office.
going to an office.
Is it easier to get a good job in your country if you speak English? Is it easier to get a good job in your country if you speak English? Yes, it's
Yes,
easier to
it's
get a
easier
good
to
job
get a good
in
job
my country
in my
if you
country
speak
if
English.
you speak
Very
English.
good. When does the next season start? When does next season start? Next season
Next
starts on the
season
month
starts
of.
on the month of March.
Very good. When's your birthday? When's your birthday? My birthday's
My birthday
on
is on
the
the
20.
27th of December.
Very good. What do we say to people on their birthday? What do we say to people on their birthday? We say happy
We
birthday
say
to
happy
people
birthday to
on their
people
birthday.
on their birthday.
Very good. What can we say when we meet a friend? What can we say when we meet a friend? When we meet a
When we
friend,
meet a
we can
friend,
say,
we
hi,
can
how
say,
are you?
"Hi, how are you?"
Very good. What can we do when we meet somebody for the first time? What can we do when we meet somebody for the first time? When we meet somebody
When we meet
for the first
somebody for the
time,
first
we can
time,
say
we
hello,
can say,
nice to
"Hello,
meet you,
nice to meet
and
you,"
shake hands with
and
them.
shake hands with them.
Very good. When you go to meet somebody, do you always arrive early? When you go to meet somebody, do you always arrive early? No. When I
No,
go to
when
meet
I go to
somebody,
meet
I
somebody,
don't
I
always
don't
arrive
always
early.
arrive early.
Sometimes I
Sometimes
arrive
I
early,
arrive
and
early, and
sometimes I
sometimes
arrive
I
late.
arrive late.
Very good. What's the difference between bring and take? What's the difference between bring and take? The difference
The difference
between bring
between
and take
bring and
is
take
that
is
bring
that
means
bring means
carry here,
carry here,
whereas take
whereas
means
take means
carry there.
carry there.
Okay, very good. So give me an sentence with the word bring in it. Give me a sentence with the word bring in it, please. I bring my bag
I bring
to
my
the
bag
lesson with
to
me.
the lesson with me.
Very good. Give me a sentence with the word take in it. Give me a sentence with the word take in it, please. I take my bag
I take
home
my bag
with me
home with
after the
me
lesson.
after the lesson.
Very good. Do you bring a pen with you to school? Do you bring a pen with you to school? Yes, I bring a
Yes, I
pen with
bring my
me
pen. Sorry. Yes, I bring a pen with me
to school.
to school.
Very good. Do you take this book home with you after the lesson? Do you take this book home with you after the lesson? No, I don't
No, I
take
don't
that
take
book
that
home
book
with
home
me
with
after the
me after
lesson.
the lesson
Why not? Why not? Because it
because
isn't mine.
it isn't mine.
Very good. Do you bring any food with you to school? Do you bring any food with you to school? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
bring
don't
any
bring
food with
any
me
food with
to
me to
school.
school.
Do you take a camera with you when you go on holiday? Do you take a camera with you when you go on holiday? Yes or no?
Yes,
I take a
I
camera with me
take a camera with me
when I go on
when I
holiday.
go on holiday.
What do you bring with you to school? What do you bring with you to school? I bring my
I bring my pen and pen case
with my with me to school.
with me to school.
Very good. Do you speak English quite well? Do you speak English quite well? Yes, I speak
Yes, I speak
English quite
English
well.
quite well.
Do you go to the cinema quite often? Do you go to the cinema quite often? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
go to
don't
the
go to
cinema
the cinema
very often.
very often.
Do you think learning English is quite easy, quite difficult, or very difficult? Do you think learning English is quite easy, quite difficult, or very difficult? I think
I
learning
think
English is
learning English is quite difficult.
very good. Is pure water bad for the body? Is pure water bad for the body? No, pure
No,
water
pure
isn't
water
bad for the
isn't bad
body.
for the
It's
body.
good for the body.
It's good for the body.
Is the wine we buy in the shops always pure? Is the wine we buy in the shops always pure? No, the
No,
wine we
the
buy
wine
in the
we buy
shops
in the
isn't
shops
always pure.
isn't always pure.
Sometimes it's pure,
Sometimes it's
and
pure and
sometimes it's
sometimes
impure.
it's impure.
Very good. Do you ever promise to give something to somebody and then not give it? Do you ever promise to give something to somebody and then not give it? Yes or no?
Yes,
I sometimes
I
promise
sometimes
to give
promise
something to
to give
somebody
something to
and then
somebody
not give it.
and then not give it.
Do you always do what you promise to do? Do you always do what you promise to do? Yes or no?
No,
I don't always
I don't
do
always
what I
do
promise to
what
do.
I promise to do.
Very good. Our waiters and waitresses always polite to people in restaurants. Are waiters and waitresses always polite to people in restaurants? Yes.
No,
No. Waiters and
no.
waitresses
Waiters and
aren't
waitresses
always polite
aren't always
to
polite
people in
to people
restaurants.
in restaurants.
Sometimes they're polite,
Sometimes they're
and
polite, and
sometimes they're
sometimes
impolite.
they are impolite.
Are teenagers generally more polite than adults? Are teenagers generally more polite than adults? No.
No,
Teenagers aren't
teenagers
generally more
aren't
polite
generally more polite
than
than
adults.
adults.
They're generally
They are
less polite
generally less
than
polite
adults.
than adults.
Right? When we want to speak to somebody we don't know, what's the first thing we generally say? When we want to speak to somebody we don't know, what's the first thing we generally say? When we want to speak to
When
somebody
we want to speak to
we
somebody
don't know,
we
the
don't
first
know,
thing we
the first
generally
thing
say
we generally
is
say
excuse me.
is "Excuse me,
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Excuse me. Can you tell
excuse
me the
me.
way
Can
to the
you tell me
station,
the way to
please?
the station, please?"
Okay, very good. So that's the end of stage three, full stage revision. Okay, so now
Okay.
let's move on to stage four.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's start new work. Okay, so repeat.
Okay.
Wife, wives.
Wife, wives.
Help.
Help.
Very good. Okay, listen. Wife, the word wife is a noun. The plural of wife is wives. Help is a verb. To help means to make it easier for someone to do something. For example, husbands in my country
Husband
generally help their wives in
generally
the
help the
house.
wives in their
Okay,
house.
so let's practice. What's the plural of wife? What's the plural of wife? The plural of
The
wife
plural of
is
wife is
wives.
wives.
Do husbands in your country generally help their wives in the house? Do husbands in your country generally help their wives in the house? Yes or no?
Yes,
Husbands in my
husbands
country
in my country
generally help their
generally
wives
help
in the
their wives
house.
in the house.
Very good. If you can't answer a question during a lesson, who helps you to answer it? If you can answer a question during a lesson, who helps you to answer it? If I can answer
If
a
I can't
question
answer a
during the
question
lesson,
during the
the
lesson,
teacher helps
the
me
teacher
to
helps
answer it.
me to answer it.
Very good. If you help me, do you think we can lift this table together? If you help me, do you think we can lift this table together? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I help you,
if I
I
help
think
you,
we can
I
lift
think
that
we can
table
lift the
together.
table together.
Very good. Next, repeat. Common.
Common.
Very good. Okay, listen. Common is an adjective. For example, all people drink water. The most common drink for us is water.
It's
In
water.
Japan, the most common drink besides water is tea.
Tea.
Okay, so let's
Yes.
practice. Which is the most common drink in your country besides water? Which is the most common drink in your country besides water?
Tea
Is the most
is the
common drink
most common
in my
drink
country
in my
besides
country
water.
besides water.
Very good. Next, repeat. Fire.
Fire.
Very good. Okay, listen. Fire is a noun. For example, we use fire when we make food. In winter, some houses in Europe have fires at home.
Fire
It
at
makes them
home.
warm.
Makes them
Okay, so
warm.
let's practice. Do you have a fire at home in winter? Do you have a fire at home in winter? Yes or no?
Yes,
I have a fire
I
at
have
home
a fire at
in
home
winter.
in winter.
Very good. Next, repeat. Broad.
Broad.
Very good. Okay, listen. Broad is an adjective. For
Adjective.
example, 137 High Street is the broadest street in my town.
Broadest street in my town.
Okay, so let's practice. Which is the broadest street in your town? Which is the broadest street in your town?
Sorry. ABC Street
Is the broadest street
is the broadest
in
street
my
in
town.
my town.
Very good. Next, repeat. Rich.
Rich.
Very good. Okay, listen. Rich is an adjective. It means having a lot of money.
Having a lot of
For
money.
example, a millionaire has a lot of
Millionaire
money.
has a lot of
He
money.
or she is a rich person.
He was a rich person.
Okay, so let's practice. Who is the richest person you know? Who is the richest person you know?
Bill Gates
It's the
is
richest
the richest
person I
person I
know.
know.
Very good. Next, repeat. Poor.
Poor.
Very good. Okay, listen. Poor is an adjective. It is the
Adjective.
opposite of rich.
Opposite
For
of
example,
rich.
Mr. Brown isn't poor
Mr. Brown
person.
is a poor
He's
person.
rich.
He is
Very good.
rich.
Okay, so let's practice. Name me one of the poorest countries in the world. Name me one of the poorest countries in the world.
North Korea
Is one
is
of
a
the poorest
is one
countries
of the poorest
in
countries
the
in the
world.
world.
Very good. Next, repeat. Story.
Story.
Bedtime.
Bedtime.
Very good. Okay, listen. Story is a noun.
It's
For
a noun.
example, children love to read stories from the book like
From
Cinderella,
the book like
Snow White,
Cinderella,
Little Mermaid,
Snow White.
etc.
Okay.
In the phrase bedtime story, the word bedtime is used as a
Is
modifier.
used as a modifier.
Bedtime stories are stories children listen to
Stories
before going to
children listen
bed.
to going to
For
bed.
example, Parents in my country read bedtime stories
Read
to their
bedtime
children.
story to the
Okay,
children.
so let's practice. Do you like reading war stories? Do you like reading war stories? Yes or no?
No,
I don't
I
like
don't like
reading war
reading war
stories.
stories.
Do parents in your country read bedtime stories to their children? Do parents in your country read bedtime stories to their children? Yes or no?
Yes,
Parents in my
parents
country
in my
read
country
bedtime
read
stories
bedtime
to their
stories
children.
to their children.
Very good. Next, repeat. Express.
Express
Thought.
thought.
Very good. Okay, listen. Express is a verb. It means to talk or write about something.
Right about something.
Thought is the noun of think.
Thought
For
now
example,
think.
I'm thinking of many things.
Think of
I
many
have many
things.
thoughts.
I
I
have
think
many
it's easier
thoughts.
to express my
It's easier
thoughts
to
in
express
writing.
my thoughts in writing.
Okay, so let's practice. Can you express a very simple idea quite well in English? Can you express a very simple idea quite well in English? Yes, I
Yes,
can
I
express a
can
very
express
simple
a very
idea
simple
quite
idea
well in
quite
English.
well in English.
Do you think it's easier to express your thoughts in writing or in speaking? Do you think it's easier to express your thoughts in writing or in speaking? I think it's
I
easier
think
to
it's
express
easier
my
to
thought
express my
in.
thought in writing.
Very good. Okay, next repeat. Irregular verbs.
Irregular verbs.
Very good. Okay, so now let's talk about irregular
Okay,
verbs.
irregular
Okay, so
verbs.
repeat. Soul,
So,
change.
change.
Very good. Okay, listen. So is a conjunction.
It's a
For
conjunction.
example, I didn't eat my breakfast, so I'm hungry now.
I'm hungry now.
Change. The word change is a verb.
Change.
It means to make something different.
Make something different.
The past tense of some verbs are irregular, and
Irregular.
so we do not add
So
ed
we
to
add
form the past
ed
tense.
to form the past
Instead, we
tense.
change the
Instead,
word.
we change the
For
word.
example, the past of speak is spoke.
Spoke.
The past of come is came.
Comes came.
Okay, so
Okay.
let's repeat after me. Speak, spoke.
Speak, spoke.
Drive, drove.
Drive, drove.
Come, came.
Come, came.
Forget, forgot.
Forget, forgot.
Break, broke.
Break, broke.
See, saw.
See, saw.
Wear, wore.
Wear, wore.
Sit, sat.
Sit, sat.
Write, wrote.
Write, wrote.
Eat, ate.
Eat, ate.
Get up, got up.
Get up, got up.
Give, gave.
Give, gave.
Stand, stood.
Stand, stood.
Begin, begun.
Begin, began.
Shine, shone.
Shine, shone.
Drink, drank.
Drink, drank.
Take, took.
Take, took.
Sleep, slept.
Sleep, slept.
Tell, told.
Tell, told.
Very good. Okay, so let's
Okay.
practice. What's the past
Okay.
of speak? What's the past of speak? The past of
The
speak
past of speak
is
is
spoke.
spoke.
Very good. Which language did we speak during the last lesson? Which language did we speak during the last lesson? We spoke English
We spoke
during
English
the last lesson.
during the last lesson.
What's the past of come? What's the past of come? The past of
The
come
past of
is
come
came.
is came.
What time did you come here last lesson? What time did you come here last lesson? I came here at
I came here at 8:30 p.m. last
last
lesson.
lesson. What's the past of break? What's the past of break? The past of break
The past of
is
break
broke.
is broke.
Did you ever break an arm or a leg when you were a little child? Did you ever break an arm or a leg when you were a little child? Yes or no?
No,
I never broke an
I never
arm
broke an
or a
arm
leg
or a
when
leg
I was a little
when
child.
I was a little child.
Very good. What did you wear yesterday? What did you wear yesterday? I wore
I wore sweater and trousers
yesterday.
yesterday.
Very good. Did I write anything on this piece of paper last lesson? Did I write anything on this piece of paper last lesson? Yes or no?
No,
You didn't write
you
anything
didn't write
on that
anything
piece of
on
paper
that piece of
last
paper
lesson.
last lesson.
Well, what time did you get up this morning? What time did you get up this morning? I got up at
I got up at 5:30 a.m. this
this
morning.
morning. Very good. Did we stand up after the last lesson? Did we stand up after the last lesson? Yes, we stood
Yes,
up
we stood
after the
up
last lesson.
after the last lesson.
Did the sun shine last week? Did the sun shine last week? Yes or no?
Yes,
The sun shone
the
last
sun
week.
shone last week.
Did you take any photographs on your last holiday? Did you take any photographs on your last holiday? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't take
I
any
didn't take
photographs
any
on my
photographs
last
on
holiday.
my last holidays.
Did you tell me your name? Did you tell me your name? Yes, I told you
Yes,
my
I
name.
told you my
Did
name.
anybody in your family drive a car last year? Did anybody in your family drive a car last year? Yes or no?
Yes,
Somebody in my
somebody in
family
my family
drove a car
drove
last
a
year.
car last year.
Did you remember all the new words last lesson from the lesson before that? Did you remember all the new words last lesson from the lesson before that? No, I didn't
No, I
remember
didn't
all the new
remember all
words
the new
last
words
lesson
last
from the
lesson
lesson before
from
that.
the lesson before that.
Some I remembered
Some I
and
remember
some I
and
forget.
some I forget.
Very good. What did you see in this classroom last lesson? What did you see in this classroom last lesson? I saw some books,
I saw some
some
books,
chairs,
some
a
chairs,
teacher,
a
etc.
teacher,
in that
etc.
classroom
in that
last lesson.
classroom last lesson.
Where did you sit during the last lesson? Where did you sit during the last lesson? I sat
I sat in the corner of the room last
during the
lesson
last lesson.
during the last lesson.
Very good. What did you eat for your lunch yesterday? What did you eat for your lunch yesterday? I ate
I ate some slices of bread
for my lunch
for my
yesterday.
lunch yesterday.
Did I give you a dictation last month? Did I give you a dictation last month? Yes, you
Yes,
gave
you
me a
gave me
dictation
a
last month.
dictation last month.
When did last season begin? When did last season begin? Last season
Last
began
season
on
began on November.
November. Very good. What did you drink with your breakfast this morning? What did you drink with your breakfast this morning? I drank some
I drank some coffee
with my breakfast
with
this
my
morning.
breakfast this morning.
How long did you sleep last night? How long did you sleep last night? I slept
I slept about 6 hours
last
last
night.
night.
Very good. Okay. Next, repeat. Hill.
Here,
Around.
around,
Very good. Okay, listen. Hill. A hill is a noun.
here,
It is a
around,
smaller than a mountain.
more than
Around is an adverb. It means in some places.
in some
For example,
places.
there are some hills
Some heroes
in some places in this
in some
city.
places in this
Or we
city.
can say there are some hills around this
Some
city.
places around this city.
Okay, so let's practice. Are there any hills around your city? Are there any hills around your city? Yes or no?
Yes,
There are some
there are
hills
some hills
around my
around
city.
my city.
Very good. Next, repeat. Laugh.
Rough
Comedy.
comedy.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word laugh is a verb.
Laugh is a
We
verb.
laugh when we're
We
happy.
laugh when we are
A
happy.
comedy is a funny film.
Comedy is a
We
funny
laugh when
film.
we watch
We laugh
comedies.
when we watch comedies.
Okay, let's practice. Do people generally laugh when they're happy or unhappy? Do people generally laugh when they're happy or unhappy? People generally
People
laugh
generally laugh
when they're
when
happy.
they are happy.
Do you laugh when you watch comedies? Do you laugh when you watch comedies? Yes, I
Yes,
laugh
I
when
laugh
I watch
when I
comedies.
watch comedies.
Very good. Next, repeat. Enemy.
Enemy,
Retain.
retain,
Very good. Okay, listen. Enemy is a noun. It's the opposite of friend.
opposite of friend.
Britain is another word for
Retain
Great
is another
Britain or
word
United
for
Kingdom.
United, United
For
Kingdom.
example,
Okay.
Britain and America weren't enemies during the Second
Britain
World
and
War.
America
They were
were
friends.
zero friend.
Okay, so let's practice. What's the opposite of the word friend? What's the opposite of the word friend? The opposite
The
of the
opposite
word
of
friend
the word
is
friend
enemy.
is enemy.
Were Britain and America enemies during the Second World War? Were Britain and America enemies during the Second World War? No,
No,
Britain and
Britain
America
and
weren't
America
enemies
weren't
during the
enemies
Second World
during the
War.
Second World
They were
War.
friends.
They were friends.
Very good. Next, repeat. Castle.
Castle.
Very good. Okay, listen. Castle is a noun. A
Is now
castle is where kings and queens live.
kings and princes live.
Okay, so let's practice. Are there any old castles in your city? Are there any old castles in your city? Yes or no?
Yes,
There are some
there are
old
some
castles
old
in
castles
my
in
city.
my city.
Very good. Next, repeat. Hungry.
Hungry.
Noise.
Noise.
Very good. Okay, listen. The word hungry is an
Hungry.
adjective. For example, my stomach is empty.
Stomach
I'm
is
hungry.
empty. I'm
There
hungry.
are a lot of hungry people in
A lot
some
of
parts
hungry
of the
people in
world
some
today.
part of the world today.
Noise. The word
Okay.
noise is a noun. For example, my stomach makes noises when I'm hungry.
Noises when I'm hungry.
Okay, so let's practice. Are you hungry at the moment? Are you hungry at the moment? Yes or no?
No,
I'm not
I'm not
hungry at the
hungry at
moment.
the moment.
Are there a lot of hungry people in some parts of the world today? Are there a lot of hungry people in some parts of the world today? Yes, there
Yes,
are a
there
lot
are
of
a
hungry
lot
people
of hungry
in some
people
parts
in
of
some
the world
parts of
today.
the world today.
Does your stomach make noises when you're hungry? Does your stomach make noises when you're hungry? Yes, my
Yes,
stomach
my
makes
stomach
noises
makes
when
noises
I'm hungry.
when I'm hungry.
Very good. Tell me, okay, next repeat. fact,
fact,
historical,
historical,
mathematical,
mathematical,
geographical.
geographical.
Very good. Okay, listen. Fact is a noun, while historical, mathematical, and geographical
Mathematical
are
and geographical
adjectives. For
adjective.
example, 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's correct.
For
It's a
it's
fact.
correct.
It's a
It's a fact.
mathematical fact.
It's a mathematical
An
fact.
example of historical fact
The
is the Second
historical
World
fact is
War
Second World
began in
War began in
1939.
1939.
Mount Everest is the highest mountain
It's the
in the
highest
world.
mountain in the
That
world.
is a geographical
That
fact.
is a geographical fact.
Very good. Okay, let's practice. Tell me a geographical fact. Tell me a geographical. Oh, but we stop there for today. Okay, very good. Very
Okay.
good
Yeah.
practice. Thank you very much. See you again
Thank you so
tomorrow.
much. See you again tomorrow
Yeah.
morning.
Bye bye.
Yes, that's right. Bye bye. Thank you.
Welcome.